Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. Today, I am in the sanctuary with my headset on. Got brown hair, brown eyes. I'm wearing a Biggie shirt today. I know I usually wear local-made shirts, but today I'm just in a Biggie kind of mood. So thought I'd give a shout out to him today. And now I've got a very special guest. You know, sometimes I say I got a new friend, a good friend, a great friend. This is a friend I've known for about, 100 years, something like that. So, hi, Vanessa.
Hi.
So my echo's back a bit. So we'll get through it. Amy Farrington just said hi, guys, to us. So that's awesome. And the echo's not too bad, and you're going to be talking for most of the time anyway. So what you been doing today? Tell us where you're at.
Well, I am in South Carolina. I'm at Banks Trail Middle School. I am a teacher. I've been teaching for 29 years, and I love what I do. It's one part of my life. It's not my whole life, but I'm here, and I'm really happy to be here, and I'm glad that we're talking today.
Yeah, and we've got a bit of a time constraint, so we're going to cruise because
my kids are coming back.
Yeah, they can come on the show too. They would be awesome.
Oh, they would love it. They would love it.
I should do a class sometime. That would be awesome.
Oh my gosh, there's another idea for you. I'm full of them.
So let's get to the show then. First of all, let's talk about you. Tell us about where you were born and raised, where you went to school, how you ended up in South Carolina.
Okay. That's a long, I'm pretty old, so that's a long story, but I'm going to make it quick. I was born and raised in Adrian, Michigan by two parents that were born and raised in Puerto Rico. So I'm first generation Puerto Rican and very middle-class family. They were married till, death. They are very happy growing up. Nothing crazy or not a lot of trauma or anything, just a very regular, nice, well-adjusted life, small town girl with supportive family, very close-knit family. I have three sisters, older, I'm the youngest. So, and then I went to MSU and met my Lansing family, met Tom and you and all of my Lansing people and all of my MSU friends. And that was a really unique experience. My like I said, I was very naive, so I learned a lot. And then after I graduated with a teaching degree, communications, and a degree in education. And my first job was in Washington, D.C. in the inner city schools. And I taught there for a year and had lots of really interesting experiences. I think I don't even remember. I'm not certain anybody learned anything except me. And then I came back to Michigan and taught outside the Lansing area. And I ended up for most of my career being in Detroit. So I taught I've taught in all kinds of schools. Meanwhile, in the mix of all that, I got married and had three kids who are 18 months apart, and got divorced and kept doing what I'm doing, teaching and all of that, and ended up marrying your brother. So he and so here I am. And so I'm that's how I ended up in South Carolina. So I teach in South Carolina, and it's definitely been a culture shock, but also good for me because it makes me better and a little bit more open to different people.
Well, thank you for all of that. You're getting a lot of cheers from the side of how teachers are awesome and all of that, which we all agree with, of course. We want to talk about autism. Let's jump into that because that's the real important. I'm sorry, that's the meat of I think a message that we want to get out. Where you were born and all of that was important too. I'm sorry, that was a slip.
No, I fast forwarded through everything because I really, I agree. Well, Nico was diagnosed with autism when he was 2. I knew at probably 15 to 18 months that there was something happening with him. I had a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old. At the time, they're so close in age, and so I knew that the difference was already really big. So I prayed every day that it wasn't true. And I'm going to get emotional, so I'm sorry. But I prayed every day that God would change it and make him not autistic anymore or make him not sick, because he was very sick as well. And, obviously that didn't happen. So I had to get to work. And my mom isn't alive anymore, but she gave me the best advice. She said, I'm going to cry with you, but we're not going to sit here and cry. You're going to do something. You're not going to sit back and do nothing. You're not falling apart. And she just did not let me fall apart, because I probably would have. And she said, I'm going to help you, and we're going to do this together. So she came and lived with me for 6 months, and I probably didn't sleep for 6 months, and I did a lot of research. And we ended up doing a lot of just all kinds of therapies. I wrote down all the therapies that we did for Nico. I don't know. I mean, it's a long list, but I was laughing because I'm like, what didn't we do? So we started out, we did, took him to the neurologist, and we got him diagnosed. And we did, when he was probably before he was 5, we did speech therapy, occupational therapy, vision therapy, play therapy, ABA therapy, church group therapy, athletic group therapy. I took him to a shaman, a holistic center. We went to a hyperbaric chamber. We've gone to chiropractors, infrared saunas, biofeedback, swim therapy, bike riding therapy. The list just goes on. And this was all within the time he was 2, probably until he was 5. Now, this all continued forever, but horseback riding therapy as well. It's just been every day. I mean, when you see every damn day, it's every damn day. And it's funny because I woke up this morning and I told Tommy, I'm like, it's every day, something happens every day. So I'm very, I guess, used to that, but still it can be challenging.
Yeah. So, I know some stories and some recent stories about, the convenience store or the gas station down the street. Do you want to get into that part? Do you want to talk?
I can be really honest. Yeah. It is very difficult. I post a lot of things on Facebook like, oh, look, we ran 3 miles. Oh, look, Nico won a running race. He got first place in his age group. Oh, look, Nico is, he's really great at art, and he has so many art things that he's done. Or, but the real is that when we started being on lockdown for COVID, his whole life changed. He had no school. He had nowhere to go. And our life is a schedule. I have a whiteboard, And every day I list everything he's going to do for the day. And he checks off everything that he's done. And so he knows that that is predictable and that that's going to happen. And we all want that. We all just don't, he's not walking around through his life not paying attention. He knows what's going on and he listens to everything. So, that falls on me because he's at my mercy, really, of what I say we're going to do for the day. And so we didn't have that schedule. He didn't have school. He had a job. He worked at a coffee shop and he worked at a tree farm. And he didn't have everything, just all of a sudden was gone. And he didn't understand. And it was very, very difficult for Nico and for all of us, but especially for him. And he, one day I was in bed in the morning, it was early morning, and he left and I didn't know where he went. Well, he had run 3 miles to Walmart and took some candy because I hadn't gotten any candy. He has a food obsession and a candy obsession. So he stole a bunch of candy from Walmart and then went to, after Walmart, stopped at Circle K because he wanted a drink. And the person that was at the store knew. She was aware that there was something wrong because he obviously wasn't talking and he wasn't trying to, be, he just put it on the counter like, okay, here, but he can't say it because he's a non-speaker. So she locked the door and called the police. Meanwhile, I had already been looking for him and I was pretty frantic. It was probably about 3 hours. And Tom had called me and said, do you think he went to Walmart? Just at that moment. And then I got the phone call that he was at Circle K and we figured he went to Walmart because of the items that he had, but he can't tell us that. So I went and picked him up and it was quite a day. And there's many instances where, that wasn't the first time he did it when he was little as well. And he was gone for about 3.5 hours. So those times are very stressful. So I'm always worried that he is going to run off somewhere and not be safe.
Yeah, that must be horrifying. And
it is.
So, you've been with him for, how old is he again? I'm sorry.
22.
So you've been with him for 22 years, obviously, and you had to learn a whole new communication strategy, right?
Yes.
And so when he's out in the public like that with the police, were the police good at handling that? How did they?
Well, he didn't have any contact with them. He had contact with the person at the store, but I got there before the police did.
Oh, okay.
And I can tell you that I have every single time that I've had an issue and the police have been involved, they've been great. So I have nothing, but I don't know. And I make sure that people know who he is. So, we haven't had anything because he's very protected. He has been very protected. So we haven't had those incidences, but that is a huge fear of mine that, I'm not going to be here forever. So it's just a overarching kind of, fear that I have that I just have to kind of put to the side. And I don't go there.
Yeah.
In my brain. And in fact, I told Tom that this morning. I'm like, I'm not going to go there in my brain with, any fears or, I don't let it happen.
Yeah. So let's go back to the younger years, if you don't mind. A lot of parents who have a child with autism go to vaccine, right? Go to vaccinations. And did you go there?
What do you mean? Did I go there?
Like that vaccinations caused this, that it was vaccines?
I mean, Nico was very, very sick and had a lot of gastrointestinal issues. He had yeast in his system. He had parasites, porcine parasites, mercury, lead, aluminum, all kinds of metals in his system. And he was tested for all of those. So that was part of my journey, the biomedical journey. I mean, I know what I think and what I feel, and I really appreciate you asking me that, because you know, some people think that that's crazy, and it's not. I mean, we have medical records. I have a folder, you know, back in the day, it wasn't online, and I have folders of just everything that was in his body. And at the time, you could go online and check what the exact ingredients of a vaccination was. You can't anymore. So I did that, and he was injected with 234 micrograms of mercury, and 0.5 micrograms is toxic for an adult. So I don't know if it's still in vaccinations or not, but I do know that's what happened with him. And I confronted his pediatrician, and she was very shocked. She was from Europe, and her face turned white, and she said, "That's my son." And so we had this conversation, and she started crying, and she said, "I can't handle this. I can't do this." So we actually took the whole journey together. We did so many of the same things. She stopped being a medical doctor, and she has a holistic clinic in Arizona now. So, I mean, that's just her journey. I don't think everybody has my journey. And I feel like we all have choices that we can do whatever we want. So I would never say, you know, don't do, you know, you shouldn't do this. For me. I am not. I know what happened with Nico, and he was very, very sick, very sick. So I didn't think you were going to ask me that question, but I do appreciate it. And, you know, I have been an advocate for just healthy living, and I just don't do it. But I would never shame anybody for using pharmaceutical drugs, or for using, you know, for taking vaccinations, if that's what makes you feel safe and good. I personally, it's not right for me or for my family.
Right. Well, you know that myself and Shannon and everyone, we're anti big pharma for sure, for all sorts of reasons. And I'm actually, you know, I didn't want to go down like an anti-vaxxing route. What I really wanted to go down, and it was a perfect answer, I guess, that you just had, because the journey is different for everybody. I know several families in the Lansing area who have an autistic child, and they swear it was the vaccines, and others who don't feel that way.
Yes, same.
And so I do want to relate it though now to vaccination. I mean, I took Moderna. I've got both my shots, and you know, I'm past inoculation. It did make me sick. The second one especially gave me a fever and chills and all that. What are your thoughts? Are you following your same? It's your choice and what you want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I get a little upset because I feel like when people say, you know, you're not doing your part or you're selfish, I'm like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
You know, we did our part. I tried, and that's not, it's not something that I would ever do again.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. Personally, now, not everybody has my experience. This is my own journey. It's not anybody else's.
A lot of people want me to get out there and say, go get vaccinated, go get vaccinated. And I just can't. I mean, I got vaccinated. I can tell you that. That's my part of my story. But Black and brown people have been screwed over by the medical delivery system that we call healthcare for so long. Who am I to say what to do? So.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I don't know. I try really hard not to give too many recommendations because I just don't. I'm like, well, I recommended something and it really turned out bad. So I don't give too many recommendations about people's decisions. I think that really people know what they want to do. And I really feel like I have a very strong intuition and I follow it a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. I think a mother's intuition with their child is just far more than anything that anybody can recommend. So, and I've always followed it.
Yeah. So do we have till 12:15 or 12:30?
Yeah, we have some time. 12:15.
We have to be done at 12:15?
Actually, 12:20 is good.
Okay.
So my kids come at 12:25 and
no, we're staying until the kids come back.
They've been banging on my door.
Well, there's a part of me that wants to say I'm sorry that you went through this, but I know there's also a part of you who is like, fuck yeah, Nico, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're in the school.
I think that it has made me a better person. And I remember being like 31 with 3 little kids and, girls my age were like, I want my curtains to match my couch. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so boring. Get away from me. You have no idea. Like there's so many much bigger things in this world than the way your house is decorated or, things like that. So I learned that at a very young age. And I also come from parents that were very much like that. They knew the importance of people and they were always, people over task always. So that's kind of how I grew up. And I also grew up with very strong faith, not religion, but a very strong faith. So, that's always been there. And I question it a lot. And so that's also a part of it. It just really has grown my faith in, you can say higher power, God, people. People really are good. They are. There's so many angels that have come across Nico and me. So.
Yeah. So what is your mission bigger than just Nico? Like, are you trying to do something bigger or are you just trying to still?
I really am just trying to find my place here. I think that when I lived in Detroit, I had such a large community and I guess I did more things. Like I spoke at fundraisers, or I did when Nico, he went to a private school in Birmingham. He was actually the first student when the school opened, and it was an ABA school. It's still up and running, but I did a lot of fundraising and for them, I helped start a group of parents. It was called Everyday Miracles, and we all met. It was just moms that needed support, and that turned into a big group, and it kind of got passed along to other people, and just I did a lot more outreach there just because I felt like I knew more people. But I always feel like the mission is just touch as many people as you can. And it doesn't just have to be about autism. Like people are just struggling about whatever. And, I get it. And especially with teaching, I have students that struggle a lot with just all kinds of things. And they seem to be okay with, talking to me about it, or just being around me to hang out. They might not even say anything. I also invite all of we have self-contained classrooms where there's only special needs kids. And I always say, you can come to my class anytime. You're invited. You don't have to stay in your classroom and not be a part of the class. So I have a really fun class of 6th graders. And the funniest things happen. And from some of the kids, sometimes they can't, regulate what they're saying or thinking. So it comes out of their mouth. So, one of the students told me to sit my big butt down, and I just laughed. I was like, oh my gosh. So, they bring me a lot of joy every day.
Yeah. So a couple of things. Our good friend Amy out there, proud of you for sharing your story. Your commitment to Nico's health and happiness is beautiful to witness. And I've witnessed that too, and I agree. I agree with everything except for the last statement here. But Nico has so many talents and gifts that he shares. We love you all and are grateful.
Sorry.
What's something you do every damn day to push these missions
every
forward?
Damn day I get up and I try again. I get up, I have a routine because I have learned from Nico, we've got to have a routine. So I get up, and for myself, I meditate, I listen to something positive, I pray, I do whatever I feel like doing right then, like just for myself, or I do nothing. I just sit there and sit quiet, and then I work out, and then I get everybody up for the day, and we get going, and I make sure that I am mentally okay to face my day, because I know what I can't, like my mom said, I can't fall apart.
Yeah.
So and I haven't yet. So
you don't have a choice.
Most days are good. Some days are hard. This morning was hard because we've had issues with some things. Just the nuts and bolts, Medicaid, or things like that. It's really hard to advocate for with Medicaid providers. It's very difficult. So if you don't have a lot of funds to do things, then you're at the mercy of other people.
Would Medicare for All help you? And Nico?
He has a Medicaid waiver, which is a good waiver, but it's just finding the people to provide the services. And there's kind of that's another whole other, there's all these compartments like vaccinations, Medicaid, education. There's so many things. And I feel like sometimes my brain's going to explode because I've been to all, medical conferences, I've been to education, I've been to Medicaid, parent support groups, all kinds of stuff. So it's just one compartment of, the whole piece.
Yeah. We daisy chain the shows together, and yesterday on the show I had a young gentleman named Charles who works with returning citizens in the Offender Success Program here in Lansing. His question to you is what superpower do you wish you had?
Oh my goodness. I think I have a bunch already. But
I was going to ask that. I knew you were going to say that.
What superpower don't I have already? I wish I could make Nico talk to me. Sorry.
It's okay. You have lots of space and time. Does Nico
I wish I knew what he was thinking. And I mean, I know he's trapped in his own body. So it makes me sad.
Yeah. I wish you had that superpower too.
Me too. But, you know, I don't. So I'm actually pursuing some more things for him. And hopefully I'll be on here in a year and telling you all about that. I can't wait for that.
Do you ever think about like technology, like Elon Musk, who just said he has Asperger's on SNL?
I didn't know that. I don't watch TV.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that's another big thing. But he's got this neural network. Do you have any hope for technology like that?
Oh yeah, I have hope for a lot of things. I never lose hope ever. It's every day.
Hey, don't jump ahead. That's the last.
Okay, sorry.
What question would you like to ask Mr. Joe Walker, who's going to talk about esports and the Black and Brown community being involved in esports tomorrow, and the scholarship opportunities that are there and all these great things? But what question would you like me to pass to him?
What led him to this, what he's doing, and why is he passionate about it?
Yeah. And
you'll probably ask him that anyway.
And I'm going to try to hurry this up because we got a couple minutes is all.
Yes.
What is it redundant to ask you that? Because I think Nico drives your passion in a lot of ways.
He does drive my passion. He honestly, I'm passionate about a lot of things. I mean, there are so many other things. It's not just this. He's just one part of my life. But he does drive me to think about just different areas. He gives me perspective. So lots of perspective. And I know Amy's listening, and I always tell her that every time. And I'm just going to jump ahead and say, you asked me before what gives me hope. And every time I go to some kind of function with Nico or anybody with special needs, it's only love. Like, people will come up to me and like, I love you. You're beautiful. And some people get scared. Like, there was a woman that came up to Tom, and she's like, I just want you to know that I love you. And he was like, oh, I love you too. I mean, they just do. There's no judgment, no anything. And so every time I always tell Amy, my gosh, this is perspective. Like, we just love people. Why are we so the way that we are? And me included, knowing all of this, I still have my very low moments of not being loving. So I just need to keep learning my lesson.
What is happiness to you, and are you happy? All in 30 seconds.
Well, okay, I'm just going to tell you, this is happiness, because one of my friends sent me a message on Facebook, and this is just one aspect. I'm relating it to Nico. Lots of things make me happy. I mean, I really do have a very great life. I can't, and I try to make Nico's life as great as he can, and hopefully everybody else in our family. I have a great husband, by the way. He's a great guy. So my friend sent me this message, and it says, let's see, she said, "Hi, Vanessa. I loved your post a few weeks back about Nico's chalk drawing." I don't know if you remember that post. He went out and drew. Okay. "It reminded me that words are a gift, as well as to take time for the simple things like the beautiful sky and the warm wind on your face. The colors Nico used were so vibrant and pretty that I made his drawing into a picture. I hope you don't mind. My youngest daughter loves orange and blue, so I put it in a frame for her room. I made a copy for Nico too. Do you care if I send it to you? It's really sweet. I mean, I just wrote that because I was struggling that day. And I'm like, and then I realized how great things were, you know, that I could just notice something small. So
it was a beautiful picture, painting, drawing.
He just done way better art than that, but I mean, it was great.
The colors were great.
Yeah.
Take us out with something. I know you got to go.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just, you know, want to say that, you know, we all struggle in certain areas, but there are so many good things to see. And I think that, you know, autism can really suck sometimes, but it really makes me a better person. And I know it makes Nico a better person and everybody around him that knows him. So I know that if anybody has any wants to talk, or I'm always available to talk about anything. I just know what struggles are. It doesn't have to be autism. It's anything really.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cried so much.
Oh, you made me cry too. I'm trying to wipe the tears away.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's not a problem. Tears are part of it. Mm-hmm. Hey, we love you very much.
All right, love you too, Jerry. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. And
all right, we'll talk to you soon.
And you can drop out if you want. I'll end the show if you'd like.
I don't know how, but I will.
All right. Everyone on the side there commenting and giving input and all of that, thank you so very, very much for this. And I hope that was a nice show, a special show. And thank you again, Vanessa. And yeah, Tom is a great person. So, he just popped on. Hi, Tom. So every damn day at 2 p.m. usually. We had an early edition today. We'll have a little later edition on Thursday, but tomorrow, 2 p.m., Mr. Joe Walker. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.